Good morning. We're back today to talk about positive thoughts in a negative world. Well, no doubt about we live today in a negative environment. Let's just start right in with it, right? I'm Tina Ann. We're going to talk today about how you're going to stay positive in the negative world we find ourselves in right now. Is it possible to keep a positive attitude in the world today? That's the question we're going to try to ask. The answer is yes, but we're going to talk about just how to do it. We're going to talk about how to do it. So, not much good news going on in the world today. And I'm going to say, the news is by design, not happiness, right? If it bleeds, it leads. TV news sells fear. They sell doom and gloom. They need to sell it. They need us to be afraid, right? So we'll keep watching. So we'll be dependent. So we'll be afraid of what's going to happen, and we always need to know. And we have it. We need to be afraid, so we need them. We need them, right? So we buy things. So we look to others to make decisions for us. Boy, you look at old TV, it used to be kind of escapism, right? You'd watch Ozzie and Harriet or the Brady Bunch, and they had family troubles and things that were all wrapped up in a half an hour. And not like today's world, right? Today, now it's just a little bit too much reality, or TV is designed to alter our reality, right? To bring us to a certain way of thinking. So much input. Never before in the history of the universe, well, in the history of our world anyway, has anybody had so much information, so readily available, so much opinion available at our fingertips. This is not helping this negative thought thing that we're talking about, right? People on the internet are anonymous, and they can be mean. People can be much meaner when they're anonymous or rude or not kind. On the internet, where they're not, no one can see who they are, right? It's anonymous. It's easy to not be nice. So again, we've had so much input, so much opinion at our fingertips, and none of it is helping us be real positive, is it? But what if you could ward off those negative thoughts and live in a positive mindset? And what would that mean to you if you could live in a positive mindset all the time? And what would it mean to those around you when you were the one that they were turning to bring back the positive? That's our goal, right? Is to be the happiness ambassador, to be the one who figures this out and helps everyone. Again, attraction. We're all attracted to happiness. We're attracted to positivity. And that's what we're going to talk about, is how do you become that positive charge, right? Positive thinking and a positive attitude. A positive attitude helps us to cope more easily with the daily affairs of life. It brings optimism into your life and makes it easier to avoid worry, negative thinking. It is a mental attitude that expects positive results. I thought that was such a good quote. I thought I'd read that to start off with. So, negative thoughts. Tina, what do you know about negativity? You're the queen of happiness, right? Well, here's a secret. I have ADHD. I've had it all my life. Shocking. If you know me, I know. But one of the side effects, or one of the symptoms that goes with ADHD is called... Well, anyway, I don't mind having ADHD. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about my non-neuronormative brain process. Honestly, it brings me more gifts than it does problems. But one of the things that comes with it is it includes something that's called emotional dysphoria, or rejection-sensitive dysphoria. And this is, I'll read you the definition. It says, it's an extreme emotional sensitivity and pain triggered by the perception that a person has been rejected or criticized by important people in their life. It may also be triggered by a sense of falling short or failing to meet your own high standards or others' expectations. Oh, it's a description of my childhood, right? Couldn't live up. Always trying to please everybody. And so the dysphoria, so in spite of being part of a loving family who, by the way, never heard the word ADHD, never heard of dysphoria. These are all the things we all dealt with, right? But in spite of living in a loving family and a relatively carefree life, I spent a lot of time in emotional pain, and I didn't understand why. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to feel happy all the time, but there was this was a constant drumbeat in my life. Maybe it's happened to you. Someone says something, and it may be just an offhand comment or something very simple, and all of a sudden you're hurt. All of a sudden your brain goes into overdrive, and oh my God, he doesn't like me, I can't do anything right, they hate me, this has never been right, and boom, you are off to the races, and in a swirling emotional hurt, and it's called dysphoria because you can't control it, right? It's running around you. The thing is, you can control it. The thing is that this is all about the thoughts we entertain in our head. We feel our emotions, and then those emotions lead to conscious thoughts about those emotions, right? The emotions kick in, and we feel hurt. We think about feeling hurt, and then sometimes we keep thinking about feeling hurt, and the thinking about feeling hurt lasts longer than the actual feeling hurt. Okay, this is what we're fighting against today. This is what we're going to say. I know you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to have ADHD. You don't have to have any emotional dysphoria to have felt this. It happens to all of us. Really, all these things are just about scale. Hi, Hannah. Oh, it doesn't show you as a live viewer. Yay, good morning. Anyway, you don't need to have any funky sounding name of any kind of disorder. This is something that happens to everything. It's about scale, how often it happens to you. So, like I said, sometimes the thinking about feeling, about the hurt we feel, or the slight that we imagined, actually goes on longer than the actual moment of pain, right? Than the actual problem. And that is our problem. Overthinking is one of the biggest causes of unhappiness, right? Keep yourself occupied. Don't think about things that don't help you. How do I do that, though? That's the question first. Okay, so how do we change our thoughts? How do we manage our thoughts? How do we always try to stay in the positive? Well, the first thing you have to do is, like anything, this is going to be something that's simple to learn, difficult to master, and like anything like that, it requires practice. But these are things you can do. So the first thing you know is you need to believe and know that you are more powerful than your thoughts. Then those thoughts were created by you, they are owned by you, and they're controlled by you, right? And you get to decide which ones you want to entertain and which ones you need to kick out. You are in control of which ones must go. And it's not that we're never going to think about negative thoughts, right? I mean, sometimes you have to think about things that aren't pleasant. Sometimes we've got to think about negative things. That's not what we're talking about. But unwanted, uninvited negative thoughts, non-constructive, hurtful negative thoughts, we don't need that ever. So first, believe that you are more powerful than those unwanted, uninvited thoughts, and that they are not allowed to live rent-free in your head. So what do I do? Okay, well, let's talk about it. I got a list of things we're going to do about how to overcome and how to manage the thoughts in your head. All right, so the most important, so this is my biggest trick. This is the one I use the most often. We tend to worry about the same things over and over again. Maybe you're up for a promotion and you're worried about whether you get the promotion. Maybe you are worried about losing your job, and then you won't have a job, right? So these are things we worry about. Kids aren't doing well in school. My relationship's not going well. There's no end to the list of problems we could come up with, right? So here's what I do. I call this the movie of my life. When I was 15 years old, one summer, all my friends went on vacation. I was home alone all summer. And I didn't do anything. So I went to the pool every day and I read whatever books I could get my hands on. And one of the books I read was Dale Carnegie's How Not to Worry. And some of these things we're talking about came straight from Dale Carnegie. But one of the things he talked about was the movie of success. So whatever it is you're worried about, whatever it is that you are focused on, or this worry comes into your head right now, I want you to stop, and we're going to critically think about this. What's the outcome you'd like to have? Let's just talk about it's the job promotion. That's an easy example, right? You're up for a job promotion. Oh, that's not really something to worry about. That's a good thing. Let's make it a little worse. I'm worried about losing my job. It doesn't matter what the problem is. The process is the same. Whatever it is you're worried about, what do you want to have happen? What's the positive outcome? What's the best thing that could happen? I'm up for a promotion. The best thing is I get the promotion. I'm worried about getting laid off. The best thing is I'm not on the list when they announce the layoff list, right? So I'm going to imagine the successful outcome. And in my head, I'm going to have a 30-second little movie of getting that good news, of the boss reaching across the table and shaking my hands, welcome aboard, of getting the notice that says you get to keep working, everything is great. I'm going to feel how great I feel that day. I'm going to imagine getting to come home, and what's it going to be like when I come home and tell my family, I got the promotion, yay! So we're going to play that 30-second video of the successful outcome. Now here's a secret. When we think negative thoughts, when we fret, when we worry, it goes on forever. We're always worried. Worry, worry, worry. Worry breeds worry. Worry keeps us worrying. Worrying, we worry, 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 worry. But when we think positive thoughts, they don't stick around like a negative thought does. They don't have the capacity, they don't seem to just stay with us. So while the miasma of the negative thinking can torture you, after 30 seconds of positive thinking, we're on to, hey, what's for lunch? What's next, right? We've changed we've made a snap. We've made a change. So remember this movie. In a moment of clarity, in a moment of design, when you're going to sit and think, I'd like to have a positive day. I'd like to be more positive. I'm going to learn ways to be more positive. Design your movie. What outcome are you thinking about all the time? What's your big goal in life? What's the outcome you want? Design the success of the movie. Play that movie in your head. Feel the emotions that are associated with the successful outcome that you're hoping for. It doesn't guarantee the outcome, right? But what it does is it stops the worry. What it does is it puts your intention and your positive thoughts out into the universe. Charge. It's a matter of intensity, right? How often do you play the movie? That's one little trick. Okay, so when you don't worry, you're not going to worry. When you feel that worry coming on, you're going to say to yourself, oh, this is that worry thing that's happening to me, right? Being aware. Number one, you got to be aware all the time. Monitoring those thoughts. Oh, there's that negative thought that keeps coming into my head. I'm going to play my movie. Have some fun with it. Put details in it. Make it color. Make it rich. Put a soundtrack to it. Feel the warmth of the hug at the end. Guarantee it'll change your perspective, put you in a positive mood. Another thing that I like to do is sometimes, again, uninvited thoughts come in. They're just running around. You want them. I like to physically cut them. Cut, cancel, delete. You think of something that works for you. Stop. Cut. A physical movement. It seems funny, doesn't it? I do it in my car sometimes. I'm driving. Cut, cancel, delete. But that physical thought, and whatever you do, do it what makes sense to you. It doesn't matter. It'll change your thinking. It's a stopgap that'll say, oh, doing that thing again. Stop. And you physically. I try to pretend I'm Lady Macbeth sometimes. Out, damn thought. Out, I say. It works. All right. Here's another idea. You're having a worry day or you're having some negative thoughts. Speak those thoughts out loud into the mirror. The chances are, when you speak them out loud, they sound a little ridiculous. They sound funny. They sound hollow. They do not have the power that they have silently in our head. Right? They don't have the power spoken out loud. Say your words out loud. Make them go away. Okay, another thing. Humor. Humor is your friend. You need a break, your thoughts won't think. Go watch a show you know is funny. There's we all have TV. We all have, like, almost on our, at the demand, can pull up an I Love Lucy episode. Something funny. That's my advice. Watch something funny. Listen to a funny podcast. Call a funny friend. Just get a break. Listen, we're going to break that cycle. Here's another thing I do sometimes. I speak to those thoughts. There's a little negative dialogue going, and I speak back. I call them out. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to have that thought in my head. Speak to them out loud. Again, it's kind of like speaking in the mirror. It gets them out of your silent head, makes them real, helps you to address them physically. Again, this answer is probably on my list of all tips and tricks and all life hacks of everything we're trying to do, and that's breathing. Breathing is so universal. Breathing is something we all do every minute, every day. And breathing controls our nervous system. Right? It controls whether we're operating out of our parasympathetic nervous system or our sympathetic. Sympathetic, fight or flight. Anger. Sympathetic, rest and digest. Calm, objective, step back. So, these are part of the ways we try to help ourselves operate out of the parasympathetic nervous system. And one of the ways to put yourself there is breathe. Very simple. Stop and take 3 breaths. Everybody has time for 3 silent breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4 in, hold for 2, 6 out, or whatever breathing pattern. Look it up on the internet. There's a bazillion different breathing patterns. This is the one I learned and works for me. 4, 2, 6, easy to remember. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a physical reset in your sympathetic nervous system that will help you take a check, take a reset to those thoughts. Here is one more. Set a time limit. I'm going to think about this for 2 minutes. I'm going to set a timer, and at the end of 2 minutes, I'm done. It's a little bit of an indulgence. I call it indulging in negative emotions, right? I'm just going to indulge in those emotions and in those thoughts for a couple of minutes, not deny them. I'm going to feel them, and then I'm going to say, I've done my duty. I'm done. I'm ready to move on. Exercise. Again, I'm not a big exerciser, but you don't have to actually exercise. Go for a walk. Get outside. Ooh, nature. Nature will change your mood for sure, help you be positive. But if you're just get yourself so caught up that you can't change the pattern, that you can't on your own do it, go for a walk. The physical action of swinging your arms and walking your legs. Again, resetting the things and releasing those endorphins and helping you to find a better mood. Gratefulness. Again, back like breathing. On every list. On every list of everything that we do is to be grateful. So you got your grateful journal, you got your grateful list, you got at least 5 top things in your life that you're grateful for. Go through that list. Guarantee you, changes your thoughts, changes your mindset. That's all we're trying to do here, right? Is interrupt those negative thoughts. Find ways that you control what's going on in your head. That's what we're talking about. These are the ways you're going to control what's in your head. Okay, recite all you're grateful for. Here's another one I like too. Have a regular response ready. I fight with negative internal talk. I'm not good at that. I messed this up. I should have done this better. And so one of the ways I try to reprogram that is to have a go-to statement. When I find myself saying those, I say, I'm getting better at this every day. I may not be as good as I'm going to be. I get better at this every day. Have a statement ready. I know that I worry sometimes, but I'm working on not doing that anymore. It doesn't matter what the statement is, but something to reframe the thought from I can't control this to I'm in charge. Again, in a moment of clarity, write it down. Write it on a piece of paper. Tape it to your bathroom mirror in the morning. When the thoughts start going to them, as simple as say that statement to yourself, click the switch. Change the thoughts. If it's not a thought, maybe it's a mannerism. Again, we talked about something physical. I'm gonna reset my brain every time I do this. For me, I use the Superman stance. When I need a moment to rethink, I stand up and I put my hands on my hips and I hold my head up and I do the Superman stance. Because for some reason that just makes me feel magnificent and positive and in charge and confident, and changes those patterns of thoughts that I can get into sometimes. Okay. Is this a good list? Are you liking it? Leave me a comment if this is helpful. In fact, if you want the list, send me a DM and I will send you this list in a written form so that you can have it at your hands. Anyway, let's get back to it, shall we? We're almost done. Gratitude. Go back to gratitude. I like gratitude so much I put it on my list twice. Recite out the good things in life. Focus on good things. Focus on the things that are going right. Make yourself stop and think about something good in your life right now. Again, reset those negative thoughts. You know, they say that you are whatever. You are as rich, you are as confident, you are as positive, you are as kind. Whatever it is, it says you are as blank as the 5 people you spend the most time with. You want to be positive? Seek out positive people. Look for positive people in your life. We can't always cut out the people who are not positive, because sometimes they're part of our family. And sometimes they're our co-workers, or they're people that we're not going to not get able to avoid. But consciously bring in those people who make you feel that spark, who make you want to do, who inspire you to want to be, to get active, to get things done, to do more, to create. Find those people in your life. Actively seek them out. They're out there. They're all around you. If you don't know any, go online. Find some online and start following them. I follow a bunch of people, and they help me. One of these days I'll put a list down of who I follow, but they help me stay positive, right? Being around positive people, watching other people be positive, helps us be positive. And finally, let's see, where are we at? How are we doing here? And so finally, the final thing is back to what we said the other day. Set your intention in the morning. Set your intention in the morning that you're going to have a positive day. You get to do this. You get to decide. I'm going to have a positive day today. Now, this doesn't mean that every thought that comes into your head is going to be positive, right? You've decided. I've decided to lose 100 pounds, right? It doesn't happen overnight. But the decision is the first part. Then, monitor your thoughts all day long. Recognize them. When they get negative, just say to yourself, I'm doing that thing again. Here I am thinking that negative thought again. This isn't helping me. You can recognize those thoughts. Sometimes we got to swirl a while before we recognize it. Sometimes, especially when you're just starting this, you might swirl a little bit before you say, time to make a change. That's okay. That's okay. But monitor your thoughts. When you come to that point where you go, I'm doing that thing again, try one of those things we said. Cancel, delete. Breathe. Go over your gratitude list. Take a walk. There's a 1,000 things you can do to cut that cycle of negativity, but you have to take action. Here's the secret. You have to decide this is important to you, and you have to decide that you're going to take that action. Once you do, once that awareness comes over you, it's like when you see things and then you can't unsee them. When you know things, you can't unknow them. Sometimes when you decide things, you can't undecide them. Decide to be happy. Decide to be positive. And that's the very first step. So, fantastic spending the day with you again today. It's Friday. I'm on my 7th show, so we're going to keep doing it. I hope you like it. Leave me a little comment if you find this to be helpful. And I will see you Monday morning, 7 o'clock. Have a happy day.